All right, we're now joined by Tyler Reddick, driver of the 45 Toyota for 2311 Racing. We're going to go ahead and open it up to questions. We'll start with Zach back here.
Thank you. Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Tyler, you, Toyota, have been great at the road courses this season. Can that translate here at Watkins Glen, despite the fact that last week it was really the 34, the 9, and the 99 that eventually ran away with it?
Yeah, we definitely had good speed at Indy. We just we're a little off in the beginning of the race, but really the final half of the race we were solid. I gave Daniel everything I had, and I just couldn't get around him. We were just really stuck behind him, getting held up quite a bit. So yeah, that was frustrating for sure. Certainly I didn't think we were at our best at Indy, and hopefully the lessons learned from there can help us maybe be a little bit more on top of whatever it was that we were lacking. And I know Indy to Watkins Glen is quite a bit different, but hopefully it speeds there. We're going to find out pretty quick. Typically we're pretty solid, right? But we aren't really happy unless we're as strong as we are at places like Coda. So that's what we'll be searching for.
All right, then we're going to go Jerry.
Coming in this weekend, your mindset, obviously you got a win under your belt, but when you go to Daytona next weekend, is it just a relief that you don't have to worry about any of that and that you can just go out there and kind of survive till the end and try and compete for that race?
Yeah, I mean, we don't go into that weekend thinking, oh man, it is a relief, but certainly it definitely is. I've been in a different situation in the past a few times where that race, everything's on the line when we get there, and it's very stressful for sure. So hopefully everything pans out in a good place to where we're able to go into that race with not a lot to worry about other than trying to win stages and win the race, because for a lot of teams it gets really crazy, and with that normally a lot of carnage happens as well.
How would you rate your season to this point, to the regular season?
A lot of potential there. We've just not quite capitalized on it in every single moment, unfortunately. Like I said, a lot of speed. We've just unfortunately not taken advantage of that every weekend that we've had it. So hopefully between this weekend and next, we can do more of that and run to the playoffs in a good place.
All right, then we're going to go to Holly.
Hey, Tyler. Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the road course racing. I've heard people say that you're the best guy this season on the road courses. It wasn't necessarily something you felt you were really great at, was it, before? Have you kind of upped your game, and how comfortable do you feel on the road courses?
Yeah, I enjoy them a lot now. I never would have thought that 6-7 years ago, trying to make my way in NASCAR. I never thought it was going to be something I would like, but I've really grown to enjoy it quite a lot. So, there's just a lot the driver can do, right or wrong. I mean, setup still matters a lot, and there's a lot of time and effort that goes into that, like any other weekend. But just the amount of corners you have to nail in a lap, and all the things that kind of go into it: the braking, the shifting, the tools that you have in the car, the things you can do with the car. I really enjoy it. A lot more than I ever thought. But I grew up racing on dirt and racing ovals, so road course racing, asphalt, dirt, whatever, was just something I didn't know about really until I got to NASCAR.
All right, then we're going to go to Dustin, then Bob.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. In 2021, you were in the bubble, the last playoff spot going into Daytona, the regular season finale. Having gone through that experience, I know everybody's different, but what was that experience like? Look, everybody talks about, hey, we just got to treat it like any other weekend. Could you really treat that as any other weekend? Or if you ever have to be in that position again, what were the things you learned from that experience?
Yeah, I mean, our year was on the line, really. And we almost didn't make it through, got caught up in a wreck. Remember the team having to do some ridiculous work to the car just so it could make laps, and we barely squeezed in, right? Fortunately, a few weeks later, we managed to not make it through round of 16, but still making the playoffs huge for a team. But yeah, that whole night feels like it takes years off your life, honestly. It's just so stressful. There's so much happening out of your control. and it just seems like if you make one mistake in that race, the penalty is just so massive, whether that's getting caught up in an accident, making a mistake on pit road, whatever it is. That final race is just, there's a lot on the line, whether you're in that bubble or, a driver that has to win when you get there to make the playoffs.
And what is it like the week leading into that race, or even the last couple weeks, as you say, your season's kind of on the line and trying to make sure you get in the playoffs? What are some of these guys now? What might they be experiencing? What did you go through leading into that week and the last couple weeks, and just everybody asking you about it?
Yeah.
And the focus.
With stage breaks, you treated the race totally differently. You pretty much gave away forego the chance to try and win the race on your own and just go for stage points. So that in 2021 was frustrating for me because obviously we hadn't won on a road course yet, but we got the pole at Coda earlier in the year, and we had good speed on road courses that year. We were kind of having to throw our races away just to get get the stage points. So I think for a lot of teams now that's a little bit more difficult. Have to get even more creative with their strategy, staying out, running long to try and get those points. It's nice not having to worry about that. I think our speed's definitely good enough where honestly we shouldn't be in that mix, but like I said, we haven't really executed a lot. Over the course this summer, we've let a lot of wins get away, so it's a good thing we did win earlier in the year.
Bob.
Bob Hockers, Fox Sports. Similar topic, but last year your teammate Austin Dillon, he ends up winning at Daytona to get in. I'm curious if you've shared any advice to Bubba as far as how to handle these next couple of weeks, and what is it like, it's just as far as a team dynamic, having one team that's in and another team that's right there on the brink.
Yeah, it's definitely stressful. It's just I always try to do everything I can to have our car be as prepped and as good as it can be for the road courses, and that doesn't just apply to me. That applies to where they start and what they bring the racetrack to. So yeah, when we prepare, especially Indy here, I know I'm not just preparing my car and trying to get it right, trying to get as close as I can for Bubba too. So the pressure's certainly on as we prepare for these weekends, trying to make sure we're getting the most out of our setup and our cars as close as it can be to what we need when we're here in reality. So it's definitely a difficult thing, but if it comes down to it, I've done it before, and I'll do it again. I'll help my teammate if it comes down to it.
All right, then back here.
Dustin Albino, J-Ski. Tyler, between 6th and 12th, you're 12th in points. It's separated by 24, I believe. Yeah, 24. How much are you looking at that, and how valuable could those 5 points be?
It'd be huge, honestly. I think early in the year, before things really went off the rails for us, we were right around 5th, 6th, and had a shot at closing in on the lead, and things kind of just blew apart, right? But, obviously watching points battle, I guess, minute to minute, not really a lot of that, but certainly understanding, okay, if we go out and have really good solid week here and just avoid, having a catastrophic day at Daytona, hopefully we're in reach of getting those points made up. I think we're strong enough at the road courses to take a bite of that, and then when we go to Daytona, we just we need to survive to try and win the race anyways. But it would definitely be nice to get back kind of in that points standing or where we probably should have been anyways. So hopefully between this race and the next, we can take a big chunk of that out, and ideally it'd be awesome to jump from where we're at to 6th, but even just getting a couple of them would be great for our team.
All right, and then back to Zach.
With some of the adversity that you guys have faced just from lack of execution and whatnot, as you've discussed, what have you learned about this 45 team throughout the summer? That can those lessons be applied throughout the playoffs? Or, does that factor into any lessons learned, I guess, through the past few weeks?
For sure. The one thing that's probably the most difficult part of it is just showing up to the racetrack every weekend with a shot to win, and we've been doing that for majority of the year. We've got a lot of speed, so that is the difficult part, right? But where it gets frustrating is when we don't capitalize on it and get the finishes that we probably should be getting. But the speed's there, right? And how we're getting it is been consistent. So we're just going to keep pushing on that front, and hopefully the things that have been mistakes, the lessons along the way, stick, and we can just hit our marks and execute when it matters.
Any additional questions? Thank you, Tyler. Good luck this weekend.